Hello, and welcome back to Ike's Venting Channel. This is episode 7 now. And today I am accompanied by TJ and Berk. Say hello, guys.
Hello, guys.
Hello, guys.
All right. Today's topic, we're going to be talking about friendship and what makes a good friendship and a bad friendship, and so on. TJ, you are up first.
All right. Um, yeah, like this is an interesting topic, right? Because a good friendship can mean a lot of things. Like it's pretty broad, whereas a bad friendship can be more narrowed in terms of how to define a bad friendship. So a good friendship could be something as simple as like, yeah, like we don't even know each other, we get along, and that's that. But a good friendship can be like, oh yeah, dude, we hang out all the time. We're always going out. We tell each other everything. So there's quite a range that you could call a good friendship. And I think I have a decent amount of like good friends that I've sustained since high school, um, which was kind of a fear of mine coming out of high school because I'm sure we've all heard, growing up is like make sure you keep in contact with your friends because you're not really gonna see them as much after high school. But
Yeah.
I think I think we've done a good job at staying in contact and whatnot. But on the flip side, a bad friendship, is it can be like something that's like, oh, they annoy me one way or another every time we see each other, or it's like I just straight up don't like this person, but I have to see them because they're friends of a friend, or whatever the reason may be. Um, so a bad friendship, I think, is more of like an active dislike, whereas a good friendship can be as little as just like you passively get along. It's like, yeah, they're good enough, but it could definitely grow to be much stronger than just that.
Hmm. Do you have any examples of a good or a bad friendship, like in your personal?
Right.
Oh,
Um.
oh, it's getting deep now. He wants you to tell us about your bad friends, this guy. Tell us about your
Yeah,
good
tell us about your bad
friends.
friends, man.
My bad friends. Well, see, I had a couple of bad friends the other day. Right, we were playing this game,
Hmm.
and I was put on the spot with 5 seconds to answer this question. And when I answered it, I was just never able to let it down. So they've just made the bad friends list. Um,
You gonna drop
but
some
no,
names? I'm curious.
uh, they know who they are.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah, but
Fair.
no, in all seriousness, I try to distance myself from people who I deem bad friends. I don't really think I have many, if any, bad friends. I think we get along enough to where we're like decent friends, or we get along more than that to where we're good friends. So I would say all of my friends would be good friends. Like I consider like most everyone I know friends, even if they are like the acquaintance level. I'd still say like, yeah, they're a good friend because I think I'm fairly decent at feeling people out and seeing how like who they are more or less through first impressions and interactions and whatnot. Um, but yeah, like some of my best friends, I've known since early high school. Like Ricano, I'd say Ray, um, and whatnot. Because I've known them since like ninth grade, 10th grade. Um, one of my friends I've known since second grade. So part of it is that time aspect, but um, I think we just have a lot of like similar interests, a lot of similar ideologies, so we get along and whatnot.
I feel you. Thanks, man.
Yeah.
All right, Xander, you're up.
The fuck is
Or,
Xander?
I mean, Burke. My bad. I was thinking of somebody else. I'm
Got
thinking of
him.
somebody else. My bad.
He's not on this show.
No, he isn't.
Uh, yeah. I don't know, man. Like good friend. I've had a lot of thoughts about good friends and whatnot because I spend many periods thinking about my place amongst my friend groups, and like if the people I know are really my friends or if they're not. I get a lot of anxiety about that, which I'm sure a lot of people do. And so I think my perspective on what makes a good friend is maybe different from other people's, and you know, maybe it's not. Maybe everything that I'm thinking of is what everybody else knows. But the way I see it, at least whenever I get into those kind of fits where I'm not sure where I stand, is like I feel like good friends are like really good friends are the people where kind of like TJ said, where it's you could tell each other anything or whatever, and just the kind of person who you just you have this unwavering sense of like loyalty and trust that I don't think that you get with just acquaintances. You don't just people that even people that you hang out with and spend some time with, you've got your friends, but you don't get that same sense of connection and trust with those people as you do with your good friends, you know? Like, I think that there is a stern difference between the people that I would call like my really good, like close friends, and the people that I would consider just, my friends, the people that I like. And I care about all my friends. I fucking love my friends. Gonna swear on your show. I hope that's okay. Didn't ask beforehand. I fucking
It's fine.
love my friends. They're incredible. I love all of my friends. But of all the people that I would consider like super, super close friends, I don't know. Like it's tough. A lot of that's on me though, because I feel like to have a really close friend, to take that step, it's like a community. It's like fucking marriage, it's like friend marriage, right? You got to take that step. You got to put yourself out there, like you're asking someone out on a date or whatever. You got to put yourself open to that connection, to that trust to the other person. You got to give them the ability, give them your like trustworthy information so that they can be like, oh shit, they trust me with this, maybe I can trust them with that. And it's kind of a back and forth. And I don't do that. I keep to myself, I don't like talking about my own thing. So, you know, that makes it more difficult in that sense. But I do think that there's a very real difference between I think there's definitely tiers of friendships.
Mm.
And I think like if I had to put it in I think there's like maybe like 5 tiers of friendships. I think
Yeah.
there's like the people that you kind of know, like the coworker. You go to work and you got like that coworker that you kind of talk to every now and then. That's kind of like tier 5. It's like the whatever. You're kind of around them and like you'd rather be around them than somebody else. That's kind of like the way I see it. And then beyond that, it's like, oh, that coworker. You start talking more. Maybe you like play some kind of game like outside of work, but you don't really communicate outside of that. Like you play like some fucking Fortnite, do a little bit of dance. Who cares? You just do a little bit of that, but you don't communicate anything outside of that. It is just they are relegated to that one aspect of your life is just playing that game. And then tier 3 above that is you go beyond that, you start doing more stuff together, you know, maybe you start, just chatting more and like whatever. And then tier 2, this is where you get into like big boy friendship land. This is where, you start like talking about life stuff, you're hanging out like maybe you're hanging out a lot, you're doing like a lot of stuff that you're doing. You're like, "Oh, you mind if I bring X?" things like that. Um Again, I don't think that you need to necessarily be like stuck together at the hip. I think it's more just the interactions that you have rather than the amount of times that you spend together. And then again, tier 1, I think tier 1 is like that full on just like that trust that like it's very hard to put into words, that feeling of trust and loyalty that you have both sort of put into each other is great. And the feeling that you guys can just be together and everything's fine, and you don't even have to, at that point you don't have to be doing anything. You've extended beyond the tier 4 Fortnite phase. You don't have to be playing a game to be having a good time. As long as you're just like in the same space, you feel like everything's great. You're like, oh, I'm with my like good friend. Like things are just awesome. And that's kind of how I see friend. And that's very rough. I literally just made this up on the spot, but that's kind of how I see it. So, but I'm interested to hear your take on it.
uh, I kind of agree with both perspectives, right? I'm of a mindset where yes, there are tiers, but my tiers aren't. There's not many. It's like three, right? You have friends, close friends, and people that you would like friends that you would consider family members, right? Um, so three tiers in my case. Anyone else outside of that is an acquaintance. I at that it because friendship to me is valued on on what, not exactly like what you would do for me and what I would do for you, but more about being there, you know? Like if I had some deep shit to talk about, I would go to my close friends and or the people that I see as family members. I wouldn't go to my friends, and I wouldn't go to acquaintances. If I just wanted to talk some shit, I'd go with everybody, in that tier list. But what makes a good friend? Definitely someone who's there for you all the time, somebody who will set you straight, somebody who will be honest with you. I absolutely hate a yes man. Like, don't just agree with me because you you want me, or you know what I mean? I want people to,
Hi, you.
oh, there there's, in my mind, there are no bad friends like on Cisco spectrum, you know? If you're a friend, you're going to be good to me no matter what, right? Releasing your negativity, or getting rid of your negative friends or acquaintances at that point, is probably the healthiest thing for a person to do. And you would want to you would want to not necessarily just break it off, but if they're kind of being toxic, let them know. Give them chances. Growth is the biggest thing. If I can see my friends grow, then I feel like I have seen and done what I need to do in our friendship. If I can see the people in my life grow closer to each other and to me, then I feel like I've done my part in the group. Um, and but like, how does one get to being a good friend though? Because I know some people that are just kind of oblivious, like their friends, and they're oblivious to how they treat other people. Not necessarily in such a bad light, but just little things. Like not being courteous of conversations, like my close friends,
Hmm.
like with you guys give me the chance to talk, and it's so nice. But I know some people out here that won't even let me speak or finish a sentence, and it frustrates me because they are friends, you know they're not close friends, but they are friends. And
Hmm.
I'm just like, would a good friend, would a close friend do that to somebody? No. A friend would, but not a close friend. I feel as though there are there are different little things. Consideration. There is. When friends take you into consideration, I think that's the next step from friends to close friends. And the step to getting above that is just going through some shit. Sad to say, you can't make relatives, if that makes any sense. Like the close friends that become family, that's that's like blood, sweat, and tears. You
Right.
have
It's built
gone
through
through something.
experiences.
Exactly. It's built through experiences together. It's a bit different. The bond that you share whenever you whenever that happens is a bit different.
Hmm.
Uh like like for example, right? Like Berk and me, we're pretty close. I consider him an older brother. I would come to him for anything. So when it comes to that versus like a few of the other friends that we know that aren't in our state, or other things like that, like, yeah, they're cool, but just like, would I rely on them?
Hmm.
No. I can rely on my close friends. I can very much rely on my family. friends that are family, anyways. But yeah,
Here, let me ask you some questions. Do you think
of
that
course.
proximity has to do with friendship? Like, do you think that you can have a meaningful, like, really, really close friend with somebody who is just like in a different state or in a different
Absolutely.
country, even?
Absolutely. I feel that you can have a beautiful and amazing friendship. I feel as if though you probably can't consider them family. It depends more so on what has happened before and after that, right? Like, if I can't necessarily say that some of the friends that I've had, even though we've had experiences together and a lot of them, I wouldn't say that they're anything above being a close friend, you know? And it's cool. Like, it's a beautiful friendship. But yeah. But as far as just being friends, yes, absolutely. You can be friends from states away, from countries away, because you can do a lot online.
Sure. I
I
mean,
think
yeah,
that's the biggest thing.
you can have like really, really good friends, but I mean, can you take it to like that next? Can you have? You don't think that you can ever have like that kind of like familyness with somebody who is far away?
No, because it again, like Cisco was saying, it's the experience. You know,
And you don't think that
if they're
you can
so
have
far
those
away,
experiences like far away?
nah. Because how you gonna
Gotcha.
have like a 4 a.m. Denny's adventure across the country? How are you gonna go to the beach and play truth or dare across the country? How are you gonna like there's so many things, so many experiences that you can't do with somebody who's that far away. I mean, obviously you can talk to that person and you can build that's what it is, trust. You can build trust in somebody
Yeah,
who's
that's what I
far
said.
away. Yeah. You can build in trust with somebody that's far away, but you can't build in anything else than that. Like, I can trust some of my friends that are overseas. I can talk to them about pretty much anything, but are they reliable? They aren't here, so they can't be reliable. They're it's not that it's not just that they're the distance, it's we haven't shared an in-person bond, and that's much different than an online bond. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think I have said all I needed to say. Does anyone want to add anything?
No, I mean that's about it for me. But I was curious about the distance thing. I'm curious what Cisco has to say on the matter, or TJ has to say on the matter.
Um, I mean, regarding the distance thing, yeah, I mean, it really does come down to the experience thing, right? Because you can lay out your like all your thoughts and lay out your heart and tell someone about your life, but I still believe that only takes you so far, you know, whereas yeah, that in-person bond, like Ike was saying, kind of just really pushes you past that boundary, in a different way that's more human, because humans, like, the invention of the internet is fairly new in the grand scheme of things. So I feel like in order to really build that, brotherly bond, sisterly bond, whatever, it's something that you do build through various experiences, good, bad, whatever, in combination with, you know, uh, potentially pouring your heart out. Although I'm not sure if that part is necessary, but um, yeah, I do think experiences plays a heavy role, in getting and breaking through from tier two to tier one.
Hey, the tier list, baby. All right. Well, that is all for us today. Thank you for sticking around, and I hope that your friendships are as good as ours. Please leave a like, subscribe, and put some comments down there. What's your best and worst friendship that you have ever had? Uh, and yeah. All right, guys. Say goodbye.
Bye bye.
Goodbye.